I picked a screenshot of a Reddit post specifically for BEAUTYON. And I think I want to talk about the significance of this, how it's going to change the world. I'm just going to read some of it. I'm going to pass the mic to BEAUTYON. So let's check it out. This is, it was a deleted post. And this is Mungo's Brainstorm. This is a feature, not a bug. I just exited a country with $1 million worth of Bitcoin. So many people just get stuck on the fact that Bitcoin is intangible, but I say that's a good thing. Just like you can't hold what you can't see, you can't confiscate what you can't see either. I got on a flight with my seed phrase on me, and there was absolutely no way anyone could have known about my Bitcoin. There isn't a single asset that could have let me do this freely. Sure, there are shitcoins and stablecoins. Other than them being centralized, they aren't even built to be money. They're all promises or straight up monopoly money. My conviction about Bitcoin is higher than ever, and even if people don't like Bitcoin now, they will surely need it at some point in their life, and it might be too late then. I'll continue to buy all the Bitcoin that the paper hands sell to me. So, a couple things here, and I've actually tweeted this. The fact that you could store millions, billions, if not trillions of dollars in your mind by memorizing a 12-word phrase is going to fundamentally change everything. BEAUTYON, what are your thoughts on this? I'm really excited to hear what you have to say.
Well, you could actually store all the fiat that's ever going to be printed in a seed phrase inside your mind. The whole nature of the fraud of fiat means that it is an infinite surprise. It's nothing more than text on a piece of paper that anybody can print out. And so if you can compress that into a seed phrase, you can have all the fiat that's ever been printed in your mind. But more important than this, what this demonstrates is that it will not be possible to stop people from moving money, quote unquote, from A to B anymore, because anybody who can remember 12 seed phrase or can write it down in a book in a way that nobody will know they're carrying it, can carry money from A to B and an unlimited amount of money. That means the voluntary society, the polite society, is on the brink of coming out of the womb, because when the state has to ask nicely for permission, they can't go to Chase, they can't go to JP Morgan and freeze your account, because there are no accounts. And this is why it's so important that people who are running Bitcoin services don't rely on third-party aggregators to supply their connection to Bitcoin D and the Bitcoin network. That's why it's absolutely essential that you control your own keys. Otherwise, the old system is going to be replaced with a new system, only a little bit less friction. This is a sea change in how things are done. And in order to take advantage of that sea change, to get on the boat of that sea change, you have to control your own keys. That means you have to use the right tools in the right way, and then you'll be free. Now, what kind of man doesn't want to be free? What kind of man thinks that somebody else should have ultimate control over their money? I put it to you that that is not a man at all. That's some kind of creature. And of course, there's some people who are too scared to be able to remember 12 seed phrases or write them down. Maybe they're even illiterate, who knows? So for them, there'll be other services that will be suitable for them. But if you are literate, you have memory to be able to remember 12 words and know how to use a pen to be able to mark in a book 12 words that you have your seed phrase, then you are under nobody's control. And that's the way it should be. And people have to treat you with politeness if they want anything from you. And people means anybody. There's not going to be anybody who is above you who can demand that you pay them anything automatically. They're going to have to do something to you, like lock you up or do something like that. And then we're into another stage of the violence of the state. And remember also, it's not possible for them to interdict everybody. There's not enough police to police everybody in the West, never mind the whole world. And when the billions who are coming onto Bitcoin wake up to this, and they will wake up to it, then the system's going to transform into something else, a more polite society where coercion is not the first line of attack against the people. And the nature of government is going to change also. They're not going to be able to do all of the nasty violent and ridiculous things that they're able to do by printing money in behind everybody's backs and stealing the money from people who have put their savings into those so-called banks. That's going to end too. And so many things are going to change when the regime of Bitcoin is the universal overlay over the global economy. And anybody who thinks that this is not going to happen, I have news for you. You're absolutely wrong. Other things that have been transformative like this have happened against the wishes of those people who are quote unquote in control. And Bitcoin is no different because it's actually not money, it's just a database. Many other database tools, whether it be BitTorrent or many other things, have spread all over the world in a way that cannot be controlled. Now that these two ideas have been put into one thing, the idea of databases that are disintermediated, for want of a better description, and money are now in one thing, and money being half of all transactions, this is a sea change in how everything is going to work. And there's nothing anybody can do about it. You can either fight against it and lose, or go along with it and prosper. And everybody is going to prosper, by the way, under Bitcoin. It's not a destructive thing. It's an entirely constructive thing. And all those people who have concerns about the environment, they're not looking at it in the correct way. The consumer society, where all sorts of frivolous goods are overconsumed and thrown away like they're worth nothing. Actually, most of them are, but that's not a story. This world is going to disappear. When the economy turns from one of spending onto saving, people won't be frivolous with their money anymore. The consumer society will be replaced by a society of thrift, which means that the garbage producing industries will all shrivel up and go away, replaced by industries that produce things that are designed to last, whether it's a pair of shoes, a belt, a shirt, or a lovely jumper like the one I'm wearing. They'll be made to last. And so there won't be seasonal changes of everybody's clothes. Things like Primark, which are designed basically to make people go and waste money, those are all going to go away because everybody's going to be saving. And it'll be worth saving because your money in the bank won't be diminished by inflation. The vast majority of people don't understand the dynamics of inflation, government produced money, all these sorts of things. But when the feeling of what's changed gets into the general population, when the feeling about what this actually means starts to take hold, people will automatically start saving money because the prices of things will be changed in the market when they're all denominated in Bitcoin. And I don't know how far along in the future this is going to be, but it's definitely going to happen if Bitcoin continues to exist and continues to spread. And of course, we're doing our level best to make that happen.